Okay, YouTube, like I said on my last video after we put the tires on the Torino, I told you we was going to do a startup of the Fairlane. It's been started about 2 weeks ago. I decided to drain the old oil out of it, and I still have to put the new in it. And we'll just get it fired up. It won't be a really hard start. It'll be a little bit of a cold start, I guess, because it's, even though it looks beautiful outside, it's we got an ice cold wind blowing, so don't let that bright sunshine fool you. And it's so cold that I've got to keep the door shut because it's just blowing it in here like a wind tunnel. And I've actually got my warm coveralls on today, so yeah, wintertime is here, I guess. But we're gonna get this thing fired up, and you know, we got a couple batteries in it now. One battery that isn't so good is the 700 cranking amp that I had in the Torino and was giving me all the troubles. It actually would not even crank it over, it just clicked. But I got it. I probably shouldn't even have it in there at all, but I also have a 800 cranking amp that I stole from the Power Stroke, and I bought a new 1000 cranking amp battery for the truck. So I'm a little nervous about talking about stuff I buy here lately because there's been some robberies in the area. Hopefully none of those dirt bags are watching this video, because if you come around here, you got people watching who will call the police. And as friendly as my dog is on video, she don't like strangers, and she's got some pretty big teeth. That's all I got to say. And if anybody comes around here stealing anything and I find out who you are, you won't steal anymore. That's all I got to say. But enough about that stuff. We'll fill this thing up with oil, and hopefully it'll fire up easy. I think I need to get my tripod. Let me pause this camera. Alright, we got it full of oil, new oil filter on it, and I went ahead and cranked the engine with the ignition turned off to make sure I'm getting oil pressure up there. Anytime you change oil, if it's possible to be able to crank it and kill the ignition like you can on a car like this with aftermarket ignition, just turn the ignition switch off. Just crank it over till you see a little oil pressure. Because that oil, if you don't fill up the filter, which I sometimes do, I didn't do this time, I kind of forgot. It takes it, when you first start it, it'll run for a second or two before that oil pressure jumps up, and I don't really like that. So we'll see how this thing starts. I apologize if there's any wind noise. We've got some strong wind blowing through here, but I need to keep the door open when I fire up the car. Let's see how she does. Should start pretty easy, I hope. for an old race car on a cold day, I guess. Don't really want to rev it up hard while it's this cold. It has a roller cam in it. It's like almost, it's about 680 lift. I'd have to look up the spec card to see for sure. But when you have a roller cam of that size, you have very heavy springs. I think the rated pressure was about 600 pounds closed. You don't want to fire up an engine with a set of valve springs like that on a cold day and just start revving it up. You're guaranteed to break those springs. So get a little heat in it before I try to rev it up any. Get this car out and really show it to everybody on YouTube. Hopefully this summer will be different. Got the carburetor bowl on it. I had to order a new bowl to fix my leak. Let this thing warm up to where the electric fans kick on. Hooked to 140-degree thermostat. Started up 2 weeks ago. All that still works. Just like the car's never been out of operation. Continue this video after you get it warmed up. All right, you can see that light right there is the fan light. The three-way switch. Right now it's on thermostat mode. Turns off. That's constant run. Plus, we're up to 160 degrees now. So, rev it up a little bit. A little idea of how it revs up. Oil pressure's down to 40. I don't have a high volume oil pump in it. It doesn't really need it. I shifted at 5,800. Just thought I'd give you an idea of what it's like to sit in this car while it's running with all the aluminum floor rattling and all that good stuff. No insulation in this car. It's very noisy and rattly. It's pretty much all business. It's a bracket car, ET bracket car. Got a lot more cosmetic stuff I want to eventually do to it. Hear the fan still running. That will kick off shortly with the cold air that's blowing in the trailer. But I was just looking around while I was warming up in here. Everything's pretty much the way I left it the last time I raced, and the last time I raced this car was in October of 2010. Took third place in points that year. 2009 I won the championship, and I'll show you proof of that here in a few minutes. But I was just looking around in here, and it's amazing how time flies on you when sometimes things go wrong in your life, and everything's just the way it was when I raced. Here's my old championship NHRA, National Dragster member. You got to be a member to race at the Bracket Nationals at Indy. I got to race in 2009. I got to race in the Race of Champions, which means the #1 points leader represents our track, and there's I forgot how many tracks, but get to do that. I'm going to show you the sticker for that. Here's some old ET slips. Old flashlight with batteries are dead in it. I forgot that flashlight was in there. Let's see what these ET slips say. These, no, it's not an ET slap. What is that? Ah, my driver's license and number card, temporary. Proof of NHRA competition driver's license, which has expired now. I'll have to get that to race at Indy if I do any, which I'm sure I'll do some racing next year. I don't know if I'll race for points, but anyway, let's get out of here. I'll show you a little more of the car. I can get out of here while holding the camera. Matter of fact, I'm going to lay the camera on the floor while I get out. It's tight fit in this enclosed trailer. Sorry about all the shaking around. But the enclosed trailer has a lot of good points too. It's like a extra garage for your car. But there is the Race of Champions sticker. 2009 qualifier, Race of Champions, which means the points leader races for his track in that race. Won the first round of that, lost a very close second round. Win margin 0.002 of a second or something. I'd have to look it up. It's on the internet somewhere. All those results are still posted, but here's a nice quiet look at it now. It's not running. I'll show you underneath though real quick. It's still pretty clean underneath. Those headers are Kreitz headers, made to put 429s and 460s in these cars without the chassis work I've done to this car. But when the suspension and shock towers are in the car like they originally are, the engine sits way too far forward to be a decent drag car with those headers. So I decided to front clip it. There are times when I wish I hadn't cut on this old car, but it made it a very competitive bracket car, and so be it. It's done. So there's no turning back. But I've had a lot of fun with this car. So if I would like to someday find another 64 like this and make kind of a clone of what this car used to be when I drove it on the street. Used to be blue, had a 289 in it, top loader 4-speed. No, it's not an original 4-speed car. It was a 3 on the tree. But I did have a top loader 4-speed in it with an inline shifter at one time with the 9-inch slicks. It was a fun little street car. Made a lot of Camaro guys pretty mad because it was a faded blue without the teardrop hood, which is in the shed, and it looked like an old lady's car at the time. I have to get my scrapbook out and show you. But tell you what, we're going to walk in the house. I'll pause the camera, walk in the house, and I'll show you a few of the trophies I won with this car. Okay, YouTube, here's kind of a little shrine of the best year of racing I ever had. This here is not the Points Championship trophy. That was the National Dragster Challenge, what they call the Wally, race for the Wally. When NHRA sponsors a race at a small local track that I raced at, which is Ohio Valley Raceway, and I won this race. And that was a double points night, and that was the beginning of me winning the points at the track that year. After that, I became the points leader by a small margin, and the margin kept getting bigger and bigger. I just had a great year. Got a couple of die-cast models of 64s. I need to paint one of them black to look like my car. Now here is you don't get a trophy for winning points. In Ohio Valley you get a plaque, which I'm still really proud of. Let me unfocus this camera here. Yeah, I'll tell you what, bracket racing is not easy. You can be driving really well and lose by, you know, 0.001 of a second. Was it 1/1000th of a second, 2/1000ths of a second sometimes? And also we had a banquet. We have a banquet every year. Kentuckiana Drag Racers does, and I got voted Driver of the Year. That's my name. They spelled my name wrong. Should be 2 L's, but I'm not complaining. And yeah, that's proof of the championship. I'm going to step outside and we'll end this video. Alright, now there's Angel looking all timid. Now, for the potential people who are robbing in this area, I'm trying to get her to look at me. I want to show them some teeth. She won't look up. Oh well, I was going to show everybody her fangs. She's got some big fangs. I believe she's got a little coyote in her though, 'cause she's got some huge teeth. There they are. Big old fangs. But she's very lovable to me, but she's not very kind to strangers until she gets used to them. But yeah, anyway, I guess we'll call this a video. Just wanted to do a fire up of the Fairlane. Got some fresh oil in it now. It needed it. It's the same oil last time I raced, and when you run racing fuel, oil gets dirty kind of quick. You run that big of a carburetor, a lot of jetting. Some fuel gets down in a crankcase because it's dumping a lot of fuel in that engine, but that's what makes them run a big engine like that. So we'll call this a video, I guess, and later on we're going to do an update on the Mickey Thompson tires. I did drive it this morning. One guy, I don't know how to pronounce his channel name, Prothamus or something like that. I forgot how to pronounce it. He may have to tell us on one of his next videos. He's building a Mustang, but he was asking how these tires worked. I did drive it this morning. The front radials have got to go in order to use those. The car was swaying bad on me. I remember I used to run slicks on it every now and then at the track with the radials up front, and at the end of the track it would sway some, and I was told that's why. I also read that's why. Well, these feel like they're going to do it pretty bad too. So I think I mentioned in the video when I put tires on it that I wanted to get rid of the radials up front anyway, and I did some research after I drove it this morning on the internet. I Google searched it. I just searched radials up front, bias plies up back, and you'll see what some people are discussing, how that is a bad idea, and some people actually reported that their cars were swaying. When I say swaying, it just feels like the rear end is just swaying on the springs, but the tires are really low on air, and they're not. Actually, I've got too much air in these tires right now. So we're going to get rid of these old radials. They've been on this car for, oh crap, probably about 15 years anyway. I know they got some tread left on them, but I haven't driven this car much. But that's enough about that. Next video, hopefully tonight or tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be making a video on it, but hopefully tonight or tomorrow I'm going to start on the truck. Got to get back on it. Get all this crap out of here. I've been playing around with other stuff for way too long. This truck needs to be back together so that I can go racing. So that's all of this video. Just want to say thanks for watching, and thanks for being patient. I haven't posted a lot of videos on the stuff I've been working on for a while. Just done a few rod run videos. That's about it. And we got some decent videos of work on the train up. So, alright, thanks for watching.